A very interesting story coming in from Telangana. Caring for your parents is a must. If not, you lose at least 15% of your salary. That's the question here that really strikes at the heart of Indian families. Can the state really step in when children abandon their parents? Telangana is considering a tough deterrent, 10 to 15% salary cuts or official action against government employees found neglecting their aging parents. The move draws strength from an existing national law, the Maintenance and Welfare of Parents and Senior Citizens Act 2007, which makes it a legal duty now for children to care for their aging parents. The deducted amount would be transferred directly into the bank accounts of parents. Until now, the law allowed parents to approach tribunals for monthly maintenance, but now Telangana's proposal goes a step further, linking family responsibility to service conduct. If a government employee is found guilty of neglect, disciplinary action, including salary deductions, could follow. The law is expected to be labelled during the upcoming budget session. In fact, the law will be tabled during the upcoming budget session of the state legislature. Supporters say this has been overdue, with nuclear families now rising. Senior citizens increasingly complain of emotional neglect, abandonment, and financial distress. The state argues rights must come with responsibility. Critics, on the other hand, raising red flags, asking who really decides neglect? What about strained relationships, migration, medical costs, mutual consent? Could this become moral policing through payroll? Should caring for parents really remain a moral duty, or is it time for a law now to enforce this with penalties? Let me bring in our guest, S. Karam Komi Reddy, joining us. But before that, let's hear it what Revanth Reddy, Telangana CM, had to say.
మీకు ఈరోజు చదువు వచ్చి ఉద్యోగం వచ్చిన తర్వాత మీకు శ్రీమంతులైన తల్లిదండ్రులు పిల్లల్ని ఇస్తే పెళ్లి చేసుకొని అత్తగారే మాకు కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళు తల్లిదండ్రుల పట్ల నిర్లక్ష్యం వహించే అవకాశం ఉంది. కాబట్టి మీరు ఎవరైనా తల్లిదండ్రుల పట్ల నిర్లక్ష్యం వహించి వాళ్ళకు జీవనాధారం లేకుండా చేస్తే మీ జీతాలలో 10 నుంచి 15% కోత విధించి సరాసరి ఆ తల్లిదండ్రుల ఖాతాలలో మీ ప్రతి నెల జీతము తల్లిదండ్రుల ఖాతాలకు పోయేటట్టు చట్టం తీసుకొస్తా అని చెప్పినా.
All right, let's bring in Karam Komi Reddy, High Court Advocate of Telangana. Thanks very much, sir. What's your take on this law that they're likely to bring in? Revanth Reddy himself championing it. From a legal standpoint, how will the state define and prove neglect? You know, because this is also, in a way, intruding into private family relationships. So how does the government decide whether you're neglecting your family or not, your parents? You're on mute, sir.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Nabila, for having me on your show. I mean, there is, as you've rightly pointed out, a law in place, the Senior Citizens Act, which was enacted in 2007. It basically says that every child that neglects their parent, a senior citizen, can file a petition or can file a complaint before a tribunal, and the tribunal takes a call. So as we speak, there is a law in place. What the Chief Minister has done is gone a step further, and he said that in case any government employees are neglecting their parents, and if it were to come to their notice, they will straight away deduct 10% or 15% of that salary amount and credit it to the account of the parents. Now, you were asking me how can the government intrude into somebody's private affairs? So, I mean, as I've just pointed out, this is not a private affair of an individual, because there is a law in place, and that particular law, by virtue of Section 32, gives ample powers to the state governments to make rules. I think it is in furtherance of the power conferred on the state government by virtue of Section 32 that the state government is going to place the bill on the floor of both the houses. One is the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council. The discussion will take place, a debate will take place, and thereafter a law will be passed. I think your questions as to how that mechanism is going to be, how are they going to weed out vexatious complaints, what is the forum going to be, I mean, these are all the things that will be discussed and eventually placed in the bill. So for the moment, I think these are all hypothetical issues, but we must understand that every citizen, and more so government employees, are duty bound to take care of their parents. And if for any reason they're not taking care of the parents, I think what the state government proposes to do is have some mechanism in place wherein they can go and petition, say, the chief secretary, for example, or the collector, if district collector, if the officials are subordinate to the district collector. And then I'm assuming that there'll be some kind of a preliminary inquiry, and thereafter the salary will be deducted. I think it's too early in the day to say that principles of natural justice will be violated and the government is proposing to intrude into somebody's private affairs. I think these are matters that will be discussed in the House, and I, for one, think that it will be done within the ambit of the law.
Okay, so you, I think, condensed it in one answer, and I really appreciate that. And we're going to really look forward to see how the Telangana government is really going to define it when the law is stable. We will track it and we'll have you back on that. Thanks very much, Karam Komi Reddy, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.